Hi, I'm Andrew Ienna, Director of Laing+Simmons Blacktown. What I'm here to talk about is the federal budget breakdown and what I personally believe that means for the market for the balance of the year and obviously heading into 2027. But in particular, for the balance of the year. We are now in May, so we have pretty much another half a year to go. So another six and a half months to go until Christmas or the new year. So what does that mean, this budget that was announced the other night? So let's get into it. First of all, let me say there's a lot of noise. There is a lot of noise at the moment. All over YouTube, all over Facebook, everybody is giving their predictions of what it means. They're giving, I guess, the points, the key points, which I'll go through a couple, but they're also giving their predictions. And let me tell you, I've heard a lot of contradicting predictions. I hear negative predictions and then I hear positive predictions. The positive predictions normally are around price range, sort of like under $1 million and the affordability. I also hear a little bit about supply and demand. And I think the supply and demand is a pretty valid point because let's be real, interest rates definitely dictate the flow and the confidence of things, but supply and demand, everyone needs to live somewhere. So the reality is if people are not buying properties, they're renting properties. So if the sale value goes up, then the rental value holds. If the sale value holds, the rental value goes up. But let's get into it. Let's go. So pretty much as a result of the budget, I would definitely say, and this is even backed by CBA, so this is not just my opinion, this is CBA's opinion as well, pretty much an adjustment is expected by about 3% between now and the end of the year. I fully agree with that. I back that not only on the budget, but also on interest rates. Have a think about it, guys. February and March, when the rates rose 0.25, pretty much that impacted borrowers' lending ability by 4 to 5% there. So if people have 4 to 5% less to spend, does that not mean that the market would adjust by 4 or 5%? I would say yes. Then, only the other day, we had another interest rate rise. So we've got that consecutive rate rises that is definitely impacting things. And probably another 1 or 2 or 3 before the year's out as well. Inflation is still soaring, unfortunately. So hopefully inflation slows down a little bit. As we know, inflation is one of the biggest triggers to interest rates. So, yep, 3% adjustment. I definitely agree with CBA on that one. But let me try to break down the budget and then tell you what I think it means for the property market, sales and rentals. So here we go. The current 50% CGT, capital gains tax, discount will be replaced with an inflation-adjusted indexation model for assets held longer than 12 months. A minimum tax rate of 30% on realised capital gains is proposed, with exemptions for income support recipients, including pensioners. The CGT net will be broadened to include pre-1985 assets for disposals occurring from 1st of July 2027. Transitional rules will ensure gains accrued up to 30 of June 2027 continue to benefit from the 50% discount. Investors in new residential property will be able to choose between CGT discount or indexation with the minimum tax to preserve housing supply incentives. Okay, guys, pretty complex stuff. What I would say to you is if I was considering selling a property, I would be definitely speaking to my accountant or financial planner. Let me tell you that. I'm not qualified as such. It's very complicated. So I would definitely be speaking to a financial planner or accountant if I was thinking of selling. Rents. Can I summarize it? Rents. I actually think rents, the rental value of properties is going to increase. I think it will definitely increase. By what percentage, I'm not really sure. If I had to take a stab, I would say 5 to 10% over the next 12 to 24 months. That's what I think. Established homes, back for sale. Established homes, I think due to the fact that the negative gearing benefits have now changed, I think there's going to be a different demand for those properties, particularly those above $1 million for established for investors. Investors looking under $1 million, I think the demand will still definitely be there and they will still drive well. This reminds me so much of COVID market, where there was a massive unknown. And if you guys remember COVID, post-COVID, the Reserve Bank kept dropping the interest rates and the market flew. Well, that's not happening at this point in time. The interest rates are not dropping. We have a budget, which I don't think is beneficial at all, to be honest. And we also have a situation where people that are owning established properties, or buying established properties, I should say, buying established properties, the capital gains tax situation isn't that good in my opinion. But guys, I'm still getting my head around it. Let me be honest and sincere with you. In closing, what do I think? Between now and the end of the year, I think the market's going to adjust 3 to 5% for sure. Absolutely for sure. And I think this could flow into next year. I really do. If you're considering selling, or you just want to know what your circumstances are, what they look like now, what they might look like later, give me a call. 0414 707 011. Andrew Ienna. Talk to you later. Bye.